Yo everybody, what's going on? This is Keegan from Kman Reviews. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you hit that like and the subscribe button, and if you have any opinions at all you would like to share, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section. Scott Helman, Nonsuch Park. Scott Helman is a Canadian singer, songwriter, a personal favorite artist of mine, especially around the 2017 time. That was during his Hotel de Ville album, which I also did a review of on my channel. If you're curious, I will leave a link in the corner for you to go check that out. And after 3 long years, we have finally arrived at the sophomore album, Nonsuch Park, and I'm not gonna lie, this album had me a little bit nervous. The singles rollout here wasn't the most exciting in my opinion, especially in comparison to Hotel de Ville. And with only 11 tracks, 26 minutes, with 3 interludes, it wasn't looking too strong. But did this album happen to surprise me? Let's find out as I review it track by track. We'll start off with the singles, with there being 4 of them. The first one being Everything Sucks, which was one of my favorite songs of 2019, and it's probably my favorite song on this album. It's so blissfully pessimistic, nearly impossible to not find any charm in Scott singing these lyrics about everything sucking, life's a piece of shit, and how he wants to die after this failing relationship over this poppy beat, snaps, trumpet work, and slightly pitched vocals. Jokes aside though, this song has a very solid groove with heavy drums, and the build up to the chorus is flawlessly done. While I may despise hearing this patched version on the radio, this version is one of the best songs of Scott's career. Check this one out. The second single, Evergreen, probably the most lackluster of the singles here, which has absolutely nothing to do with the message. A very positive, hopeful, and conscious track about climate change, pollution, protecting and loving the earth we inhabit. It's a beautiful narrative, but the structure and tone of the track is very off. For one, this chorus feels like such a flop. Very little punch aside from Scott's vocals, which aren't even consistent throughout the track. The verses, he kinda sounds bored, which adds this unfortunate, disinterested element to these otherwise prominent lyrics. Flat guitar playing, light taps of a drum machine as well. It's not the most welcoming single for an album. I'll pass. The third single, Wait No More, was a track I was extremely lukewarm on upon first listen. And it was also the track that killed most of the hype for me for this album. At its core, it is just such a generic pop song. Scott has never delved this low stylistically. There's also a lot of similar elements to Evergreen, with some parts where he just sounds tired. There's not much impact as a whole throughout the track. Over time though, this one has grown on me quite a lot. The radio did help with that. And these pretty positive lyrics about not wasting your days doing nothing, gotta get out and achieve your dreams. Uplifting, empowering, maybe a bit mundane sonically, but I think that can be looked past for a true anthem. Good song. And the fourth and final single, the album closer, Papa, is a painfully wholesome track. The main thing being these lyrics, which are about his grandfather, who he called Papa, and how he passed away, reminiscing about all these memories with him and how he's really scared for the future without him. It's kind of tough to listen to when paired with these beautiful string arrangements and snippets of voice calls from him. This may just be one of the absolute best closers of Scott's career, maybe the entire year as a whole. Gorgeous song, give this one a listen. Now for the rest of the tracks. Parentheses, Nonsuch Park, the opener, is nothing special, just a short introduction with some airy, sweet piano playing paired with some vocal passages. It starts to build up to this cacophony before ending on some natural ambience and birds chirping. Definitely fitting for the album, but it's not special and I wouldn't say it's worth keeping around. Lois, which is slowly becoming the biggest post-album hit, and I'm frankly not sure why. The song really doesn't do all that much for me. There are some awkward vocal sections here and there, that chorus breakdown is very clunky, and the drop with the title being repeated several times just doesn't feel right. Scott delving into these generically structured songs almost feels like a bit of a betrayal, and it hurts too as a passionate fan. Lyrically, it's about comparing this girl in his life to Superman's Lois Lane and how she always picks him up when he's at his lowest. As much as it is a charming, albeit overdone concept, the lack of integrity is very distracting. Pass. Good Problems is a song I've seen Scott describe as Ripple Effect 2.0 from his debut album, and I personally don't get that. The original Ripple Effect had such a genuine, honest feeling to it, with its calm guitar strumming. There's not a prominent guitar to be had on this track, aside from maybe in the background. Mainly just some soothing synths and a deep, almost trap-inspired drum. What I can compare these two songs with, however, is Scott's vocals. They finally sound virtuous and alive, especially on the chorus. But the verses are also pretty solid, with lyrics describing affairs, divorces, and Scott's experience with those in his family. Unfortunately, the track doesn't have too much of a groove to properly balance it out or even get my recommendation, so I'm indifferent on this one. It depends on my mood if I like it or not. Parentheses California is another short interlude featuring some piano playing and heartfelt singing about having too much on your plate in this relationship and moving to California, only needing their love. I'm really not too big on these interlude types of tracks, especially on an album this short. Pass. Afraid of America finally gives us a pretty solid track. The instrumental is very different than anything Scott has really done. This distorted bass and snare snaps, it's rap-esque, which only works well with Scott's delivery on the verses, definitely falling into a bit more of a rap tinge. That chorus is also pretty nice, the ambient, breezy synths, plus the trumpet playing on the latter one. It's pretty flavorful and a nice breath of fresh air in comparison to the generic takes and instrumentals of the previous tracks. Not sure who the female vocalist on the bridge, but she really does nothing for me, and lyrically it's about being afraid of the American populace and situation. Not a bad song, I like it. True Crime is probably the best track here that wasn't a single. I really get a Bungalow, Sweet Tooth, or even a PDA feeling out of the song, and I adore all of those previous tracks. The thumping percussion throughout has a nice bopping quality to it, as Scott's vocals are some of the most lively across the record. Especially on this chorus, which is just fantastic on all fronts. While I do wish the song could have been a little bit longer, only being 2 minutes and 48 seconds, it's some of the best moments on this entire album, and lyrically it's about how badly this girl did him wrong with her lying love and how she should do time because that's a true crime. Great song, worth a listen. And finally, parentheses Meet Again, another short interlude, but probably the most fitting out of all of them here, as this one actually transitions into its succeeding album-closing track Papa, with this vocal clip about saying hi to his papa as he was a child. The piano playing makes it that extra bit somber, definitely the best out of these interlude tracks in my opinion. Overall, yeah, I will be very surprised if this doesn't go down as one of the biggest disappointments of the entire year for me. Back in the mid-2010s, I saw Scott as a kind of savior in the world of Canadian pop music, bringing in some lively, punchy, catchy, and lyrically dense, just straight-up enjoyable pop music in the forms of Augusta and Hotel de Ville. And while I think lyrically he has wisened up quite a bit on this album, a lot of commentative passages plus warming, undying love just pulsing throughout this album's veins, it's probably the best aspect of this LP. But sonically, I think it ends very strong. It starts off just super weak, and I'm just hoping this is a minor roadblock for Scott's career, and he can get back to making some fantastic pop music. But as of this album, I'm feeling a 6 out of 10. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.